Are you truly prepared for what's coming? Because what I'm about to reveal isn't just a warning, it's a reality unfolding right now. This isn't fear-mongering. It's cold, hard facts backed by our latest research from February 7th, 2025. There are 9 foods disappearing from shelves faster than anyone predicted. Not next year, not next month, right now. And here's the harsh truth. If you don't act fast, you'll be left scrambling, wondering how you missed the warning signs that were right in front of you.
Imagine walking into your local store. The shelves you once took for granted are empty.
Prices have doubled. Or worse, the item you need simply isn't there. No amount of money can buy what's no longer available. That's not just inconvenient. That's a crisis waiting to happen. And here's the part that might shock you the most. The last item on this list isn't something exotic or rare. It's something you use all the time, something you assume will always be there, until it's not. Missing this information could cost you more than just money. It could cost you your peace of mind when you need it the most.
So here's what you need to do. Don't look away, don't skip ahead, and watch every second, because even the smallest detail could be the difference between being prepared and being left behind.
This isn't just a video, this is your wake-up call. Let's dive in. Number 9, peanut butter, peanut butter. The creamy, protein-packed staple that's a must-have in almost every pantry. It's not just a delicious spread, it's a lifeline for quick energy, loaded with healthy fats and protein, making it an essential survival food. But here's the shocking truth. What seems like an abundant everyday item is quietly slipping into scarcity. Severe droughts are crippling peanut harvests in key regions like Georgia and Texas, areas that produce a significant portion of the peanuts consumed not just in the U.S., but around the world.
We're not talking about isolated weather issues.
Rising temperatures, prolonged heat waves, unpredictable rainfall patterns, and relentless droughts are devastating crops year after year. Farmers are battling soil degradation, shrinking water supplies, and extreme climate shifts that disrupt the entire agricultural cycle. The result? Smaller yields, weaker crops, and a supply chain under constant stress. This isn't just a bad season. It's part of an escalating crisis that's reshaping the future of food security. And even if the peanuts survive the harsh conditions, the challenges don't stop there. Transportation bottlenecks are making things even worse. Supply chains are strained from every angle. Sky-high fuel costs, driver shortages, congested ports, and logistical delays are causing significant disruptions. What used to be a simple process of getting peanuts from the farm to your local grocery store has turned into a slow, costly nightmare. Each delay adds to the final price you pay at the checkout. The bottom line? Skyrocketing prices, shrinking supplies, and no guarantees. Peanut butter, once a cheap, reliable pantry item, is on the verge of becoming a luxury. A product that may soon carry a price tag that shocks you if you can even find it on the shelves.
So here's your wake-up call. Stock up now.
Don't assume it'll always be there. Don't wait until you're staring at empty shelves, regretting that you didn't act sooner. If peanut butter is part of your daily routine, your emergency food stash, or your go-to source of nutrition in tough times, secure your supply today, because tomorrow it might be gone.
Number 8, canned tuna. Canned tuna, once a budget-friendly, protein-packed staple found in nearly every pantry, is now on the brink of becoming a scarce commodity.
It's not just a convenient food. It's a critical source of lean protein with a long shelf life, making it a top choice for preppers and families alike. But here's the alarming reality. The global fishing industry is facing a perfect storm of challenges that threaten the future supply of canned tuna. Rising ocean temperatures are wreaking havoc on marine ecosystems, pushing tuna populations away from traditional fishing grounds. As waters warm, fish migrate to cooler, less accessible regions, forcing fleets to travel farther, burn more fuel, and invest in costly equipment just to maintain their usual catch levels. This isn't a temporary shift. It's a climate-driven crisis that's reshaping the very foundation of global seafood supply. Add to that the issue of overfishing. Decades of aggressive fishing practices have severely depleted tuna stocks, leaving populations struggling to recover. International regulations are tightening, quotas are being slashed, and some regions are facing outright bans to protect what's left. This means fewer fish are being caught, and the ones that are making it to market come with a hefty price tag. But the challenges don't stop at sea. Labor shortages, exacerbated by global economic disruptions, are crippling both the fishing fleets and the processing plants. Combine this with port delays, shipping container shortages, and strict import-export regulations, and you've got a supply chain on the verge of collapse. Reports show that delays in transporting canned tuna from processing facilities to store shelves are stretching from weeks into months. The result? Shrinking supplies, skyrocketing prices, and sporadic availability. What was once a reliable, affordable protein source is becoming increasingly hard to find. And when you do find it, you'll notice the price has jumped, sometimes overnight. So here's the hard truth. If canned tuna is part of your emergency food stockpile, don't wait. Grab it now while you still can. Because once the shelves go empty, there's no telling how long it will take or how much it will cost before it's back. Stock up today or risk going without tomorrow. Number 7. Flour. The backbone of countless recipes, from homemade bread to pancakes and pasta, is facing a crisis unlike anything we've seen in decades. It's not just an inconvenience for bakers. It's a warning sign of a much deeper problem in the global food supply chain. Global wheat shortages are pushing flour supplies to the brink, and the situation is deteriorating faster than most people realize. Extreme weather events are at the heart of this crisis. In the U.S. Midwest, often referred to as the breadbasket of America, prolonged droughts, flash floods, and unseasonal frosts have devastated wheat crops. Fields that once produced abundant harvests are now struggling to yield even half of their usual output. Across the globe, parts of Eastern Europe are facing similar disasters, with heavy rains destroying crops and droughts turning fertile soil into dust.
This isn't a seasonal hiccup. It's the result of a climate crisis that's disrupting agriculture on a massive scale.
But the problem doesn't end with the harvest.
Supply chain hiccups, from fuel shortages to labor strikes, are choking the movement of wheat from farms to flour mills and grocery store shelves.
Add in rising transportation costs, grain export restrictions, and global political instability, and you've got the perfect storm for a flour shortage. The result? Skyrocketing prices and empty shelves? What used to be a cheap, dependable pantry item is now becoming a commodity with fluctuating availability. And as prices continue to climb, many families are being forced to make tough choices about what they can afford. So here's your action plan. If you bake or rely on flour for your daily meals, secure your supply today. Don't assume it will always be there or that prices will go back down anytime soon. Stock up, store it properly, and protect your food security before it's too late. If you're finding this eye-opening, take a second to give this video a quick like. It helps more people like you stay informed and supports Preppers community in spreading critical information. Let's continue. Number 6. Baby formula. Yes, even baby formula, one of the most critical products for infants, is under threat. This isn't just a supply chain issue, it's a full-blown crisis for families who depend on it to feed their babies. The shelves are thinning out, and the panic is growing with each passing day. The root of the problem? Production issues caused by factory shutdowns and ingredient shortages. Manufacturing plants that produce formula have faced unexpected closures due to contamination risks, mechanical failures, and even labor shortages. When one factory shuts down, it puts enormous pressure on the remaining facilities, which are already struggling to keep up with demand. But it doesn't stop there. Ingredient shortages, from specialized dairy products to essential vitamins, are making it nearly impossible for manufacturers to maintain production at normal levels. And with global shipping delays and logistical bottlenecks affecting the entire supply chain, formula isn't just expensive. It's becoming hard to find altogether. The result? Panic. Parents are scrambling from store to store, searching for formula that simply isn't there. Online retailers are seeing price gouging like never before, with desperate families paying double or even triple just to secure a few cans. Here's the bottom line. If you or someone you know relies on baby formula, don't wait. Buy extra now. Even if you think you have enough, consider the what-if scenarios. What if shelves stay empty longer than expected? What if prices spike even higher? Prepare today so you're not left without tomorrow. Number 5. Pasta. Simple, affordable, and a pantry staple in households around the world. But here's the unsettling truth. Pasta is disappearing from shelves faster than anyone expected. And the reasons behind it are more alarming than they seem. The core of the crisis? Durum wheat shortages. Durum wheat is the essential ingredient that gives pasta its firm texture and rich flavor. But right now, countries like Italy, home to some of the world's largest pasta producers, are struggling to keep up with global demand. Why? Because of poor harvests driven by extreme weather conditions. Devastating droughts, heat waves, and unpredictable rainfall patterns have severely impacted durum wheat crops, slashing yields to record lows. Farmers are watching their fields dry up under scorching temperatures, with little hope of recovery. And when the wheat supply dries up, so does pasta production. No wheat, no pasta. But it doesn't stop there. Even when pasta is produced, getting it to your local store is another battle. Rising transportation costs, fueled by global fuel shortages, supply chain disruptions, and port congestion, are making it harder and more expensive to ship pasta around the world. Shipping delays that once took days now stretch into weeks, causing inconsistent stock on store shelves. The result? Pasta flying off shelves, skyrocketing prices, and growing shortages. What used to be a cheap, reliable meal option is now becoming a luxury for many families. In some areas, people are buying pasta in bulk, clearing out stores as soon as new shipments arrive. Here's the bottom line. Don't take pasta for granted. Stock up while you still can, because the next time you go to the store, your favorite brand, or even any pasta at all, might not be there. Act now before simple meals become a thing of the past. Number 4. Cooking oil. Cooking oil, whether it's vegetable oil, sunflower oil, or even olive oil, is one of those pantry essentials you don't think twice about until it's gone. And right now, the world is facing a cooking oil crisis that's driving prices through the roof and emptying shelves faster than ever before.
What's causing this sudden shortage?
It's a perfect storm of agricultural disasters and supply chain chaos. For starters, Ukraine, one of the world's largest producers of sunflower oil, has faced devastating harvest losses due to ongoing conflicts and climate-related disruptions. Vast fields that once produced millions of tons of sunflower seeds now lie barren, with farmers unable to plant, harvest, or export their crops effectively.
Meanwhile, in Spain, where olive oil production reigns supreme, severe droughts and scorching heat waves are decimating olive groves.
Trees that once flourished are now struggling to survive in dry, cracked soil, leading to drastically reduced yields.
The same goes for soybean and palm oil plantations in Asia, hit hard by unpredictable weather patterns, floods, and pest infestations.
But that's not all. Even when there is oil to be processed, transportation bottlenecks, from fuel shortages to shipping delays, are making it incredibly difficult to move products from farms to factories and from factories to grocery store shelves. Every link in the supply chain is strained. The result? Prices are skyrocketing. In some regions, the cost of cooking oil has doubled or even tripled in just a matter of months. And when people realize what's happening, they rush to stock up, making the shortages even worse. This isn't just a short-term issue that will fix itself overnight. Global demand is outpacing supply, and recovery could take years, especially with ongoing climate challenges and geopolitical tensions. So here's the bottom line. Stock up on cooking oil now. Whether it's for everyday use or part of your emergency food supply, securing a few extra bottles today could save you from empty shelves and inflated prices tomorrow. Your wallet and your future self will thank you later. Number 3, rice, a simple grain that's a lifeline for more than half the world's population. It's cheap, filling, and easy to store, which makes it a staple in every prepper's pantry. But here's the harsh reality. Rice might not be as abundant as you think. In fact, we're on the brink of a global rice crisis that could affect millions of people, and it's happening faster than anyone expected. The culprit? Climate change is wreaking havoc on rice paddies across Asia, the region responsible for producing over 90% of the world's rice supply. Catastrophic floods, relentless droughts, and extreme temperature shifts are decimating crops that once thrived in stable conditions. In countries like India, Vietnam, and Thailand, farmers are watching entire fields drown under floodwaters one season, only to be scorched dry the next. This vicious cycle is destroying harvests and leaving less rice to go around. But that's not the only threat. New crop diseases and invasive pests, fueled by changing climate conditions, are spreading rapidly, attacking already weakened plants and further slashing yields. Diseases like rice blast fungus are wiping out crops before they even reach maturity, leaving farmers helpless and consumers vulnerable to sudden shortages.
And it doesn't stop at the farm. Export restrictions, rising fuel costs, and shipping delays are choking the global supply chain.
Some governments are even limiting rice exports to protect their own populations, which means less rice is making it to international markets, driving prices up and availability down. The result? A perfect storm of scarcity and skyrocketing prices. What was once the most affordable food on the planet is becoming harder to find and more expensive with each passing month. In some areas, the price of rice has already doubled, and experts warn that this is just the beginning. So what should you do? Secure large quantities of rice while it's still affordable. Don't wait until the shelves are empty or the prices are out of reach. Stock up, store it properly, and make sure your family has a reliable food source. Because when rice runs out, the ripple effect will be felt everywhere. Act now or risk facing the consequences later. Number 2. Powdered milk. When people think of dairy shortages, they often picture empty shelves where fresh milk used to be. But here's the part most aren't prepared for. It's not just fresh milk under threat. Powdered milk, the go-to solution for long-term food storage, is facing a crisis of its own. Powdered milk is a prepper's dream. Long shelf life, easy to store, packed with essential nutrients, and a reliable source of protein, calcium, and vitamins. But right now, it's caught in the middle of a global supply chain disaster that's causing supplies to dwindle and prices to surge. The root of the problem? It starts at the farm. Rising feed costs are crippling dairy farmers around the world. Extreme weather events, droughts, floods, and heat waves have devastated crops like corn and soy, the primary feed for dairy cows. This has driven feed prices through the roof, making it nearly impossible for small and medium-sized farms to keep up.
Many are shutting down altogether, reducing the global supply of raw milk.
But that's just the beginning. Even when milk is produced, it faces a logistical nightmare before it becomes powdered milk. Transportation delays, fuel shortages, and supply chain bottlenecks are choking dairy processing plants. Essential ingredients and packaging materials are stuck at ports, delayed by weeks or even months. The cost of moving goods has skyrocketed, and companies are passing those expenses straight to the consumer.
And here's where it gets even more alarming. Experts predict these shortages will only get worse by mid-2025.
Global dairy production is struggling to recover, and demand is outpacing supply at an unprecedented rate. Prices are already creeping up, and if current trends continue, powdered milk could become a luxury item. Something once affordable, now priced beyond the reach of many families. So what does this mean for you? If powdered milk is part of your emergency food supply, or if you rely on it for everyday use, don't wait. Stock up now while it's still available and somewhat affordable. This isn't just about convenience, it's about securing a vital source of nutrition before it becomes scarce. Because when the shelves go empty, it won't matter how much you're willing to pay. It simply won't be there. Number 1. Oats. You might think of oats as one of the most reliable, affordable, and abundant foods out there. A staple for breakfasts, snacks, and even dairy alternatives like oat milk. But here's the shocking truth. Oats are running into serious trouble, and most people don't even realize it yet. Major oat-producing countries like Canada, which supplies a significant portion of the global oat market, have been hit hard by extreme droughts. These aren't just minor dry spells. We're talking about record-breaking heat waves, parched soils, and water shortages that have decimated oat harvests. Fields that once thrived with golden, nutrient-rich crops are now barren, leaving farmers with yields that are a fraction of what they used to be. But the problem doesn't stop with climate. Shifting weather patterns, unpredictable rainfall, and even wildfires are making it harder and harder to maintain consistent oat production. In fact, some farmers are abandoning oats altogether because it's no longer sustainable under current conditions. And here's the ripple effect. This crisis doesn't just affect your morning bowl of oatmeal.
It impacts granola bars, cereals, oat-based snacks, and the booming oat milk industry.
As oat shortages grow, companies are struggling to meet demand, which means fewer products on shelves and rapidly rising prices. To make matters worse, the supply chain is under immense pressure. Transportation bottlenecks, rising fuel costs, and labor shortages are slowing down the movement of oats from farms to processing plants and grocery stores. Every delay adds to the cost, and those costs are being passed directly to consumers. The result? Skyrocketing prices, shrinking supplies, and sporadic shortages that will only get worse as climate impacts continue. What was once an affordable, healthy option is becoming harder to find and more expensive by the day.
So here's the bottom line. Stockpile oats now. Whether it's for your daily meals or your emergency food supply, having a stash of oats could make a huge difference when shortages hit full force.
Don't wait until prices double, or until shelves are completely empty. Act now while you still can, because once they're gone, it might be a long time before things go back to normal. If they ever do. Which of these surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences.
Food shortages aren't just headlines. They're becoming a reality for many people around the world.
The more we stay informed and prepared, the better we can face whatever challenges come our way. Stay vigilant, stay prepared, and take action while you still can. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.